안녕하십니까? 오늘 소개할 증언 내용은 전직 미 해군 레이더 운용병으로 근무했었던 해리 앨런 조던씨의 증언입니다. 당시 루즈벨트 핵추진 항공모함에서 200m 크기의 UFO가 출현한 것을 레이더로 포착하고 전투기까지 출격했었던 충격적인 사건 내용에 대해서 소개합니다. 당시 루즈벨트 항공모함에는 핵무기가 탑재된 상태였고 UFO가 레이더에 포착되자 팬텀 전투기가 긴급 출격하는 상황에까지 갔었다고 합니다. UFO는 특히 핵과 관련된 곳이라면 민감하게 반응을 하는데 핵추진 항공모함에까지 출현했다는 것은 UFO의 집중 감시 대상에 포함되어 있음을 의미하는 것으로 볼 수 있습니다. 그럼 당시 상황에 대한 그의 생생한 증언 내용을 시청하시겠습니다.
I was on mid-watch during my second med cruise, and it was about sometime between midnight and 2 o'clock, and I had a contact come on the radar scope. I knew the difference between surface search radar and air search radar. There's differences in polarity of the radio signal and things like this, and how the waves come back, all the stealth kind of stuff, you know, active and passive electronic countermeasures. So I know the difference between a flock of geese or, you know, wave returns or false echoes. In fact, this was the first thing that challenged me to check it out in ECM as to whether or not the contact that I had on the scope was genuine. Because this was between 65,000 feet and above, and the strength of the signal was as strong as the surface contact on the water of an aircraft carrier. This contact was huge. It was got my attention and the attention of others that were on watch. There were 4 enlisted on watch and 2 officers at the time. And so anyway, in this particular case, it was showing up on height finding equipment and it was showing up on radar equipment. And then it began to move fairly slowly at first and then very quickly. The CO came in and he wanted to know what the heck was going on here, and they looked at it and asked what the hell was that, you know, and it got the attention of the captain at that time. Was Captain Clark, was my captain. My commander was Commander Gibson at the time. And there was only one person on watch in ECM, and before I knew, in a matter of 15 minutes, the ship was being turned and 2 Phantom IIs were being prepared for launch. The Phantom IIs went to afterburners, and they were about 100 miles or so away from this contact and turned on their conical scan radar to lock on, and it winked out. Just disappeared. After they landed on the pipe 35 minutes later, and everybody's settled down, this thing winks back on again, and it's about 12 to 15 miles from the ship, hovering at about 30,000 feet. And in any event, they went out, and the lookouts couldn't see anything. Nobody could see anything. But it was there on our radar scope. It was not a false signal. And my SEAL told me, Jordan, this, you know, what have you got in your log? This never happened. And I wasn't the only one there on watch that night. So anybody who was there at that time knows what I'm talking about and knows that it's the truth. But less than a dozen people knew what went on that night, and that ship had 5,000 men on it. There were documents that I have seen that refer to the Roosevelt having several instances of UFO flyovers, and particularly after they took on board nuclear weapons. And I was on board when they did take those on for the first time.